Yes, and it's the last segment of the program this morning now. As has been put forward in court, there is no evidence that the ban on the sale of tobacco products alleviates the burden on the healthcare system. This was argued along with the point that shutting down an entire industry is not rationally justifiable nor necessary because of a speculative possibility. I'm joined online now by Sinenhlanhla Mbuni from the Fair Trade Independent Tobacco Association, FITA, to talk to us about this ban that's currently in place due to COVID-19. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
All right, so all of this has now come before the courts of law in South Africa, an argument that it's unfair that tobacco is being banned, or tobacco products, the use of tobacco products and its sale. What is FITA saying at the moment?
Look, yesterday our application for leave to appeal the ruling of the full bench of the High Court, which was handed down on the 26th of June, dismissing our application challenging the cigarette ban, was heard. And in court yesterday, we raised 10 grounds on which we feel that the court erred in ruling against us in the initial application. And those grounds, if I can discuss them briefly, include one, the issue of costs, in that the court saw it fit to award costs against us, despite the fact that the respondents themselves did not seek a cost order against us, citing the fact that this is a matter of national interest. Now, there's case law which deals with this particular issue, and this is one of the arguments we put forward to court. Our main argument, in as far as challenging the merits of the actual case, is the fact that the Disaster Management Act, and in particular Section 27 of the Disaster Management Act, does not empower the minister to enact such a ban on the sale of cigarettes and tobacco products. And it states further that any regulations which government implements in as far as the Disaster Management Act must be strictly necessary. This is in line with the case which was ruled upon by the Constitutional Court. We further deal with the issue of rationality, in that
We seem to have lost that transmission. Okay, there we go. We're back on with Sinenhlanhla Mbuni. Okay, we can see you again. Yes, you can go ahead.
My apologies for that. Yes. The issue of rationality, in that the minister cannot be deemed to have acted rationally in implementing the ban on the sale of cigarettes. And we feel that the test which was applied by the court, in as far as rationality is concerned, is too low of a threshold, and that the actual medical evidence was not scrutinized, and the court merely relied or departed from the premise of stating that just because the minister considered some medical evidence without even scrutinizing or establishing the weight thereof was sufficient to show that she had acted rationally, which is something that we are not in agreement with, because we feel that the current medical evidence does not support government's position. And in fact, the only peer review study that currently exists has shown that there is no causal link between cigarettes, or the sale of cigarettes, and the virus. And I mean, we're now even seeing that a greater debate about whether...
If I may come in there, do you think
Yes.
that the restrictions that have been placed on citizens and in terms of their personal smoking and the sale of the products, has it in any way reduced the consumption or the use of cigarettes?
No, the answer is a resounding no, emphatic no. I mean, we've seen a study by the University of Cape Town, for instance, which has shown that 90% of smokers are still smoking. And I mean, one only needs to have regard to activity on social media across various platforms to see that people are either still advertising the sale of cigarettes, or purchasing or looking to purchase cigarettes. So I don't think that has stopped the habit of people smoking. And the sad effect or knock-on effect of that is that the fiscus is therefore losing billions as a result of the ban, because the people that are selling cigarettes on this black market are not paying the requisite taxes associated with smoking, and are actually selling these cigarettes at a very, very inflated price, with I've been told, a 400% markup. So you're seeing the economy not benefiting as well, and you're enriching criminals in essence, to the detriment of not only the fiscus but the people of this country, because we submit that these funds could have been used to deal with sort of containing the spread of this virus.
And if I may ask, do you think there'll be any legal outcome soon in regards to this matter? How long before it is finally resolved?
Look, how long is a piece of string? The thing is, as we all know, with legal processes, these things can be appealed and appealed and appealed. And I mean, we're still at the point of a high court stage. I mean, then there's still the Supreme Court of Appeal and then the Constitutional Court. So, I mean, I think that is highly dependent on the resolve of both parties and what the desire from government is, and as far as this ban is concerned, and how long they intend keeping it in place. So obviously one has to be realistic and say that this matter could be in the courts for another month or two or even three before a final sort of point is reached, and as far as what the position is, and as far as the courts have ruled. But again, government also has the option of engaging industry and finalizing this issue prior to us reaching that point, in as far as the adjudication by the courts.
Mr. Sinan Shantla Mguni from the Fair Trade Independent Tobacco Association, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing that information.
Thank you. Only a pleasure.